Path of Exile 2 patch 0.5 is right around the corner, and you're about to be completely drowned in content about what exactly you should be doing on day one. But here's the video nobody's making. 90% of PoE2 can be skipped. That's right, skipped. And the game is arguably better if you do. Now, I've put thousands of hours into this game, and a lot of those hours, I have to admit, I feel like I was playing it completely wrong. I was obsessing over crafting techniques, I was chasing whatever the meta build was, and watching corruption orbs just brick items I'd spent an entire weekend earning. Most of that time was completely wasted. So if you're a new player, or maybe you're a busy player like I am right now, this is the video I wish someone had made for me. One that tells me what to skip and what's actually worth my time. So that by the end of your time playing this league, you feel satisfied. And this game becomes a place you want to come back to, league after league. Let me explain. I feel like something nobody really explicitly talks about with Path of Exile 2 is it wasn't designed to be learned all at once. The more you enjoy it, the more complex it gets. So let's start with the 10% that actually matters, and then we'll cover the 90% you can skip. You remember when I said the game becomes a place you want to come back to league after league after league? Well, that only happened for me because I chose a fantasy that I wanted to play when I first picked up PoE2. Now, the first League Warrior was nothing special whatsoever. It was arguably the worst class, but I went into it wanting to play a sword and board character. Even though there was no swords, I was still able to accomplish that with my Giga Chad Warrior builds, where I was just an unkillable tank. Now, if you're going to choose the most overpowered build, even if it's not something you particularly enjoy from a fantasy standpoint, I don't think you're going to really play the game long term. I think you're going to find out that all the items cost way more than you thought they would, and you're gonna have to grind a lot longer to buy higher end gear, and that's gonna make you bounce off the game. A couple of ideas would be like, let's say you wanted to, instead of doing a lightning arrow Deadeye, you could do like an ice shot variation of that. Or if it's on the warrior side, like I really just wanted to make leap slam work, and I've tried to make that work every single league. It can be through a skill, it can be through the class, it can be through the fantasy archetype. Just pick something that you really think would be interesting and start there. This next one might be a little bit more on the obvious side, but I really wish when I started this game, coming from not really playing ARPGs a ton in the past, was that you absolutely need to cap those resistances right away. I'm talking all of them, even chaos resistance if you're a newer player. And I know there are some builds that you don't need chaos resistance because you're moving so fast, but as a newer player or a busy player, you just don't want the hassle of standing in some damage over time and getting completely nuked. Even if you have to sacrifice some other stats on a piece of gear to keep your resistances in order, that's gonna make the game feel much better overall. Nobody likes walking into a map and getting instantly one-shot because you aren't resistant to fire or lightning damage. Once your resistances are capped, the next thing is just knowing two things about your build: how it deals damage, and then one defensive layer beyond resistances. That's it. You don't need to understand every mechanic in the game, you just need to know what's keeping you alive and then what's actually killing stuff. The reason this matters is when you die in a map, if you understand those two systems, you can figure out what went wrong. Was it not enough damage so the fight dragged for too long? Or was it a physical hit that your resistances didn't help you mitigate? When you don't know your own build, every death feels random, and random deaths feel bad. So you start respecking instead of fixing the actual problem. So pick a defensive layer beyond resistances, whether it's armor, evasion, energy shield, dodge, whatever fits your build, and know how your damage works. That's the floor. Anything beyond that starts to become bonus. Now, if you're a newer player, this next one is going to be huge for you, and even if you're a returning player, I can say that I still do this to this day, which is don't rush the campaign so hard. Getting to end game maps or getting to the quote-unquote real game is what a lot of people are going to say. I don't agree with that, simply because the campaign itself is the tutorial. It's where you can easily test out skills, and that is where you're going to learn a lot with this game, is how skills synergize with each other. So do that in the tutorial. That way you can respec easier and you don't have to waste hours of your life going in the wrong direction and finding out halfway through yellow maps that your build is trash. Number 5 is the last one before we get to the part nobody else is going to tell you about. Pick one league mechanic and just ignore the rest. I know every league has like 6, 7, 8 different systems, all competing for your attention. Whether it's Breach, Delirium, Ritual, Expedition, whatever is new in 0.5, you don't have to engage with all of them. This league, I basically only ran one mechanic on my warrior and skipped the rest, and I had a better time than the leagues where I tried to do everything and maximize everything all at once. Which brings us to number 6, learn how to flip things on the market. And honestly, this is the one I almost didn't include because it sounds like some kind of mumbo jumbo advice, but it's not. As a beginner or a returning player, you're gonna hear one of two things. Either someone hands you a guide to craft a mirror tier item and sell them instantly, or someone tells you to forget trade entirely and just play the game and pick up ground loot. There is a third option that nobody talks about. 5 or 10 minutes a day and you'll generate plenty of currency. Here's how it works. There are items that are always in demand across the entire league. Soul Cores of Jikwani are the perfect example. People always need health added to their gear, and when the league first starts, so many people are farming for these that they end up actually underpriced. That's the long play. Bank a few early, watch their value climb, and then sell them as the league progresses. If you need currency right now, there is a faster version. Pay attention to items in your build specifically and watch for anything weirdly underpriced. Let's say you notice a bunch of rings of a certain type sitting at 1 divine, but one is listed at half that. You snipe it, you relist it at the 1 divine, and sometimes you make way more than you thought, sometimes you don't. Either way, you're learning the market while you're funding your build. And the important part, this isn't a project, it's just a habit. 5 minutes a day, the economy stops feeling like a wall you have to climb over and starts feeling like a tool you can actually use. Which brings us to number 1 on the skip list, and the biggest one, skip the meta crafting for now. Maybe forever, depending on how you want to play. Remember the corruption orb story I told you at the start? An entire weekend of grinding, just bricked by a single click? That's the actual problem with crafting for busy players. Every crafting step you take is gated by understanding the step before it, and the punishment for getting it wrong is proportional to how much time you've already sunk into the item. You'll see videos on YouTube where someone walks you through making a mirror tier item. Those videos are real. The crafting works, and almost none of it is for you in your first month. The orbs they're using, the exalts, divines, omens, and fracturing, those have a second use most of the videos forget to mention. You can just spend them and use them as currency. Buy items off the trade site that already have the mods you want, and let other people take the crafting risk. Learn what each currency does, sure, but use them to buy. This brings us to the next one. Skip the tier lists that you see. It's only gonna make you more confused and ask yourself the wrong questions of, oh, should I just pivot to this build? Should I do Lightning Arrow Deadeye because it is the best and everybody says it's so amazing? This goes back to not chasing the meta. When you look at these tier lists, it's a lot from streamers who spend hours and hours and hours a day playing this game, and they have multiple characters running. That's not gonna be you anyway. So just focus on the one character you do have and try to make it as good as you possibly can. So skip the tier lists, maybe take a look at it one time to, make sure you're not choosing the absolute worst build ever, but beyond that, don't pay too much attention to them. This is going to be the biggest one. Skip the idea that you're behind. Every league, there's this invisible scoreboard that says streamers and full-time players are ahead and you are behind. That scoreboard isn't real. It was built by people who play this game 12 hours a day, for people who play this game 12 hours a day. You're playing your version of the game at your pace, and behind is a measurement that simply just doesn't apply to you. I spent so many leagues feeling like I needed to catch up to people on Twitch or Discord, the creators making the videos I was watching, and every league I tried to catch up, I had a worse time than the leagues where I just played my character at my own pace. The leagues I enjoyed the most weren't the ones where I kept up, they were the ones where I let go of the idea that there was anything to keep up with, and I just kept incrementally improving my character and exploring different ways to make my character work better. You're just playing differently than the people whose job it is to be ahead, so let go of that idea in your head and enjoy the game for what it is. If these have helped you at all, go ahead and leave me a comment down below of what your plans are for 0.5, what class you're going to choose, and as always guys, I hope you have a good day.